Death is a universal phenomenon, yet the ways in which it is perceived and ritualized vary significantly across cultures and historical periods. These perspectives are deeply intertwined with cultural beliefs, religious practices and historical contexts, influencing how societies cope with and make sense of mortality. Understanding these perspectives through the lens of psychology provides insights into the human experience of death. Cross-cultural perspectives on death, cultural rituals and beliefs. Different cultures have unique rituals and beliefs surrounding death, reflecting their views on the afterlife and the nature of existence. For example, in many African cultures, death is seen as a transition to another realm, and elaborate ceremonies are conducted to honor the deceased and ensure their safe passage. In Latino cultures, death rituals are heavily influenced by Catholicism, emphasizing the connection between the living and the deceased through prayer and remembrance. Mourning practices. Mourning practices vary widely, with some cultures engaging in public displays of grief, while others may encourage more private expressions. Jewish mourning customs, such as sitting shiva, involve community support and structured rituals to help the bereaved process their loss. In Japan, the Bon Festival is a time when families honor the spirits of their ancestors, reflecting a belief in the ongoing presence and influence of the deceased. Symbolic meanings. Many cultures attach symbolic meanings to death-related rituals. For instance, in some cultures, eggs symbolize life and rebirth, reflecting a belief in the cyclical nature of life and death. Historical perspectives on death, ancient practices. Historically, death has been a significant part of human culture, with practices dating back to the lower Paleolithic period. Early humans engaged in burial rituals, indicating a concern for the dead and a belief in an afterlife. Medieval Europe. During the Middle Ages, the concept of the Danse Macabre emerged, depicting death as an inevitable force that unites all people, regardless of status. This reflects the period's preoccupation with mortality due to frequent plagues and wars. Modern shifts. In contemporary times, there has been a shift towards the invisible death, where death is less visible in everyday life due to medicalization and institutionalization. This has led to changes in how people experience and process death, often resulting in more private and less ritualized mourning practices. Psychological perspectives. Terror management theory, or TMT, suggests that the awareness of death creates existential anxiety, which individuals manage through cultural beliefs and self-esteem. Cultural worldviews provide meaning and order, helping individuals cope with the fear of death. Cultural psychology examines how cultural learning impacts perceptions of death. For example, individualistic cultures may focus on personal legacy and achievements, while collectivistic cultures emphasize family and community continuity. Psychological studies have explored how different cultures process grief and maintain bonds with the deceased. These studies highlight the role of cultural narratives in shaping individual experiences of loss and mourning. Day of the Dead in Mexico. This vibrant celebration honors deceased loved ones with altars, offerings and festivities, reflecting a view of death as a natural part of life and a time for joyful remembrance. Sky burials in Tibet. In this practice, the body is left exposed to the elements and scavenging birds, symbolizing the return of the body to nature and the impermanence of life. Victorian mourning in England. The Victorian era had elaborate mourning customs, including wearing black clothing and creating mourning jewelry, reflecting the period's fascination with death and the afterlife. Cross-cultural and historical perspectives on death reveal the diverse ways in which societies understand and cope with mortality. These perspectives are deeply rooted in cultural beliefs, religious practices, and historical contexts, shaping how individuals and communities experience and express their attitudes toward death. By exploring these varied perspectives, we gain a deeper understanding of the universal yet uniquely personal nature of death.